fellow sim racers. This is Sim Racer. So, for the sim racing community, most are aware that on December 31st, iRacing license for IndyCar will expire. And from the reactions of a fair amount of sim racers, they are behaving or acting as if the sim racing world is no more, that it's collapsed. Well, literally for myself, I can only offer up my opinion of one, oh, boo-hoo. iRacing sealed its fate when it decided at its inception and that it would license all of its content. And the idea behind that was to create a public awareness and or a presentation that iRacing was the only online racing sim that was licensed by series, cars, etc. to set iRacing apart. Well, eventually that was going to backfire on iRacing. It wasn't a question of when, it was just a question of time. And we've seen our first major expiration of a license of a given series, and that, of course, is IndyCar. Now, there's a lot of speculation as to what this means, as to how it's going to impact sim racers, especially YouTubers who put iRacing content onto YouTube, and if their channel's large enough, they monetize it. So for those YouTubers, effective December 31st, no one knows exactly or for sure what they can stream and what they cannot stream as regards to iRacing and as to IndyCars. There's a lot of confusion surrounding it, and there's a good chance that none of it's going to be clarified until I believe it's Motorsports Games decide to see how they're going to handle and or enforce YouTubers who put IndyCar racing content on their channel. Now, the obvious way that Motorsports Games can handle the situation is to simply provide to YouTube a copyright claim, verify that they are the ownership of IndyCar licensing, and YouTube will take that content down. That is the most logical thing, or the most logical impact that will occur. As for the iRacing community, it's even up in the air as to how iRacing will be able to provide IndyCars to the iRacing community. No one really knows for sure, other than the fact that there cannot be and will not be any official IndyCar series, that iRacing will not be using the nomenclature or the trademark of IndyCar. So, is it the end of the world? Well, no, not at all. When you look at the tracks, well, we don't even know if that this is the loss of the license is going to prevent or cause iRacing to have to take the Indianapolis 500 track out of the AI module. I don't think it will. I don't know why it would. I don't think Motorsports Games really cares. Certainly you have the Indianapolis 500 track on multiple different sim racing platforms, and we're just going to have to wait to see how this works out. Personally, I don't really give a hoot to the fact that the IndyCar license has expired. And amongst all of the teeth gnashing, the angst of membership, I don't think we're going to lose very much. In fact, a very, very tiny segment of the sim racing community actually cares about IndyCar, or actually is involved in racing IndyCar. Back a few years back, when iRacing would run the Indianapolis 500 on Memorial Day, it was a major all-membership event, and for a given race, you would get, on the high side, 600 to 700 members who would sign in for the race. When you look at the hundreds of thousands, I'm guessing, of individuals, of sim racers, that is a drop in the bucket for sim racers. So iRacing, you lost the license, and for the sim racing community of iRacing, not any other sim, it's just the membership, just the current membership of iRacing that are going to be impacted by this. Not one sim racer who uses R-Factor 2, who uses Race Room, who uses Assetto Corsa, who use AMS2, is impacted by this, other than the fact that there will probably and potentially be an impact if you're going to put, let's say, an AMS2 Indianapolis 500 race on your channel. And if you call it the Indianapolis 500 and you basically do it as a race broadcast, then you're in a situation where Motorsports Gaming could file a copyright claim on your content, and YouTube potentially would respond to that claim and take it down. So the ballyhooing over this issue, I think, is way over the top and inflated. I did want to touch on one YouTuber who did quite a rant about how could IndyCar do this to iRacing when iRacing has been promoting IndyCar for a substantial period of time. Well, iRacing is not promoting IndyCar. iRacing's license to develop virtual tracks, the IndyCar series, was all about, and is all about, iRacing being able to claim that it has the sole license to officially have IndyCar sim races. And iRacing's sole purpose for that was publicity, PR, and the ability to charge money to membership for content. It has nothing to do with iRacing promoting IndyCar. if iRacing wanted to promote IndyCar, they would make IndyCar racing free, absolutely free to anyone who wanted to participate in IndyCar racing, and to encourage everyone possible to participate in IndyCar racing, and to absolutely flood the social platforms with IndyCar racing, sim IndyCar racing. Well, clearly that didn't happen, and clearly it's not going to happen. And the only reason that iRacing itself is upset at the expiration and the loss of IndyCar licensing is because it's going to make it's going to make it far more difficult for iRacing now to sell IndyCar content. And that's it, folks. That's the motivation behind this entire thing, is iRacing using an official licensing to be able to make money for iRacing. It has zip, nada, zero to do with promoting IndyCar. At least that's my gist of it. That's my opinion. So hey everyone, don't worry. You know, you want to cry about it. I think the only ones that are going to cry about it and that are actually crying about it are current members of iRacing. If you're not even a member of iRacing, do you even care? Well, of course not. If it was so important to you as a sim racer to be able to race Indy cars, you would be a member. However, if you're not a member, you don't give a crap about IndyCar on iRacing. Hey, this is Sim Racer. May all of your sim racing pursuits be enjoyable. We will talk to you next time.